Hey, got some good news for you. We've been analysing the pace compared to our rivals, and it looks like we'll be very competitive. Keep up the good work.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode. And we are here for round number 3 of season 3 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. As you can see there, Chris, very happy with the development of the car so far in the last few races, and you can't complain really because we've taken a huge step forward in performance, and we're really excelling this season with this car. And I can tell you guys, this will be the last episode that you'll see with the old launch spec cars and skins, because for the next episode in Russia, which I've already recorded, we have the brand new patch in place with the updated car liveries and car performances, which I'm not going to say anything about that. The car performances does shuffle up the pack a little bit in my career mode, so do tune in for the next episode. I do urge you to, because it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. But if you did miss the previous one, then do check on the car annotation in the top right hand corner of the screen to look at the last race if you did miss it by any chance, because it was a pretty good race in China, and also the first race in Australia, which was absolutely incredible. But we're here for Bahrain, round number 3 of the season, a track where I've really struggled in the past with this car. In the last 2 seasons, I believe I've been knocked out in Q1 and Q2, and also I've basically had no points. I haven't scored a single point around here, I believe, in the last 2 seasons. So it's been a bit of a bogey track this one for me. I really haven't found the pace, similar to Baku, one that I just haven't been able to get the car to work and really switch the tyres on. So I'm hoping for a big performance here this weekend and hopefully get a good result, because this track is one of my sort of weaker tracks. Also, I think the AI are slightly more OP around here. So if you sort of combine all those factors, this makes for a pretty weak track for me. So let's see if maybe the upgrades we made over the winter and the upgrades we made after Abu Dhabi, which were big upgrades, and the ones that Chris is so happy about, we can try and convert and try and allow, hopefully they allow us to have a good qualifying here today. So as you can see, speaking of qualifying, we're here in Q1, go for a banker lap on super soft tyres, and I do have softs available, but because of the last 2 seasons, I don't trust myself, so I'm just going to go straight on the super softs and make a lap work. And as you can see, we're left here about 4 minutes on the clock to go out, and so far the lap's unfolding very nicely. As we come across the line, we do go P2 behind Kimi Raikkonen, rather surprisingly, and Sainz is in P3. With only 3 minutes on the clock, I was pretty encouraged by that lap time, so I thought, okay, I don't need to go out anymore, and luckily, nothing major happened. We did drop through the field a little bit, but you know, P10 still pretty good there. Esteban Ocon in P7. So overall, good Q1 session as we now move into Q2, a banker lap once again on super soft tyres. This time only good enough for P7 behind Ocon, so I go for a second attempt in Q2 here, because I am on the bubble of getting knocked out down in P8 now. As you can see, so far the lap unfolding very nicely, only a 10th off in the first sector, up on our delta by a couple of tenths as we go into the second sector here. So far the lap's going rather well for us. The checker flag has dropped, however into the final corner I go a little bit too hot and get a scruffy line and actually lose all the advantage I had, and at this point I realised I messed up, and I was hoping that the first lap I did was enough to get me through, and as we come across the line it was enough. So luckily the first attempt there pretty much saved our bacon, and for the first time around Bahrain we've actually qualified inside the top 10, and we've actually made it to Q3, which is rather remarkable. So I was very pleased with that already. As you can see in Q3, because I wasn't expecting to get here, I actually had to do a bank lap on soft tyres because they didn't have any fresh supers left, only one set, which I wanted to save for this lap here, which was my final attempt in qualifying. So here we go. We're going to run a board now into turn 1, 100 meter board down to second gear, right, find the apex, really bring the nose down in second gear, then short shift to third, critical to get good exit speed out of 2, and then turn 3, really try and get some good straight line speed all the way up this sort of uphill climb into turn number 4. 100 meter board on the left hand side is a reference, 4th gear, possibly 3rd to get the nose in. I prefer 4th, and then that gives me better traction on the exit. Then into turns 5 and 6, very tricky section here, we're very careful, currently purple in the first sector for some reason, so a very good first sector there. But now into turn number 8, I believe, hairpin corner, very tricky section, you can be very careful at the front end of the car as we now go into turns 9, which feeds into the ever tricky turn 10, try not to lock up here. 3rd gear, I missed my apex a little bit here and lose about a 10th of a second, which wasn't ideal, and just sort of catching the curb on the right hand side, so I didn't really help my cool, so we lost a little bit of time there, which we probably could have added on at the end of the lap time anyway. But here we go into turn number 11 now. Good run through here, up the hill, trying to get the power on as soon as possible, flat out now through this right hander. I've got a very pointy car with a very pointy setup on, so I've got to be very careful with the back end as we now go through into this swooping right hander here, losing the back end slightly on exit, but still within a second of Kimi Raikkonen here, 3 tenths to 4 tenths up on our delta. A shame we made that mistake earlier on in the lap as we now go into the final corner, 100 meter board, 4th gear, really be aggressive on the apex and then use all the curb on the exit and try and get as much speed as possible onto the main straight. Open up the DRS, and as we come across the line, what is the lap going to be good enough for? I believe it's going to be good enough for P9, I think. So yeah, P9. Not a spectacular by any means, and you know, if we just got that extra tenth and a half, maybe even 2/10 through that turn 10 hairpin, we could have been a little bit higher up the grid. Maybe could have got P8, possibly, and beaten Felipe Massa. But look at that, Esteban Ocon in 4th place behind both of the Ferraris in 1-2, and Daniel Ricciardo. Both Mercedes cars can only manage 5th and 6th there, so rather impressive qualifying from a teammate in there. But we're now going to move into Sunday for the race for the Bahrain Grand Prix and round 3 of the season. Right, so we're here for race day at Bahrain, round number 9 of this. Right, so we're here at Bahrain for round number 3 of the season. P9 on the grid, very good qualifying session yesterday, and the car felt pretty good. And I've got to say, I'm quite encouraged this season compared to the last 2 seasons. We seem to have got the monkey off our back and sort of removed the curse that we can't get into Q3 and really compete around here, because the car felt fantastic. The setup is really, really good. It is a little bit pointy on the front end, which you know, I've got to be careful with through the fast corners, as I can go for a spin if I'm not careful. But that's what's giving me the extra time, basically. I'm taking a big risk using a setup that I used for the esports race, which is very pointy in the front end. But it's working for me. It's giving me a good qualifying position, and I'm looking forward to it. In terms of the race strategy here today, we're going to be going onto these soft compound tyres and then onto the mediums on a 2-stop strategy, and basically using the 2 fresh tyres that we have left, and also underfueling the car a little bit, because I don't want to use rich mix in this race. I want to just keep it in standard and save the engine parts a little bit, because they are starting to get a little bit worn, and I'm just concerned a little bit about that. So we just want to try and keep things under wraps. And yeah, overall I'm looking forward to it. It's Bahrain. It's always a pretty good race, and one that I tend to enjoy if I've got a good car underneath me. So hopefully we can have a good race today. Hopefully we've got a good pace, and we can continue on a good momentum from Saturday. And without further ado, let's jump straight into the race. Right then, on the grid at Bahrain for the 5 red lights, it's going to be lights out, and away we go. That 5th light took an age to go out, but we're underway here, and it's a good launch off the line, picking up the slipstream on Max Verstappen. We've got a Haas on our inside, off to a great start. We're going to have to spot the outside line into turn 1. Can we make it work? Oh my god, yes we have. What a start that is. Really, really good run around the outside, but behind the soft tyre Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. Ocon is making the move for P2 on Kimi Raikkonen here. We're going to pull to the inside on Lewis Hamilton here. Ocon's trying to go up the inside of the Ferrari. I don't think it's going to work for him though, but we're going to slot in behind our teammate, and it's a Ferrari 1-2 followed by a Force India 3-4 here. Really, really incredible stuff here, and we've got a soft tyre Mercedes behind us, so we should be in a good shape to try and defend this if possible. Ocon's going to have some good pace here, so I want to try and follow him, because I think he could be onto something this race. And with Hamilton on softs behind, he won't have the same amount of grip as those on supers, so we've got a chance here to try and pull away and try and find a little bit of pace earlier and try and get ourselves into this race. Okay, so on to lap 4. DRS is now enabled, and Bottas, who is on super softs compared to Hamilton, who's on softs, is now got DRS wide open. He's going to try and go for the move on me here as we go into turn 1. I'm going to try and match him on the brakes, going the outside into turn 1. Can we hold it and make our position basically stick against Bottas? We're going to squeeze him a little bit, but he's having absolutely none of it, keeping his nose in, giving me a little bit of taste of my own medicine on the exit as we now go up the hill into turn 4 here. Bottas still on the inside line. I'm going to try and go around the outside. Can we make it stick? Bottas still there. We're still side by side. Now going into the sort of S section of the curves, and we're going to go around the outside of Valtteri and hold on to the position. Fantastic stuff. Really good defensive driving there, and staying ahead of one of the silver arrows here. But early on, this is not helping me, because I'm losing contact with Ocon by battling like this. So this isn't great. My car feels very pointy, which is what I mentioned in the start, and I can notice it in these race conditions where obviously the fuel load is heavier and the tyres are more worn. You can really notice how the back end wants to go on me, and I've got to be very careful of that the entire race. Right, here comes Bottas once again onto the pit straight. Once again, DRS wide open. He's going to make a move. This time he's got a much better run on me, and it's yellow flag here as we go into turn 1. And Nico Hulkenberg out of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Bottas, meanwhile, making the move here, and he's up into P4. So I'm going to let him go, try and follow him, basically, and see if we can catch me back up to Ocon, basically. So let's try and follow the silver arrow. Right, quite a few cars in the pit lane, actually. Bottas comes in, as does Esteban Ocon, so very early stops here. Meanwhile, here comes Hamilton, DRS wide open. He's going to look for the move into turn 1. I don't think he's going to quite commit to it, so we're going to stay in P3 for now, behind the 2 Ferraris, but I'm coming in, I think, at the end of this lap for my tyres. So we've just got to try and defend from Lewis this lap, and then we'll be back in for fresh tyres, and hopefully we won't lose too many places on the undercut after those who pit basically on that past lap. Right, out of the final corner, here we go then. into the pit lane for our first stop of the race. Let's make sure we get it all slowed down here, and there we go, very solid pit entry. We're being followed in by Daniel Ricciardo, so we need to have a good stop, hope that we rejoin basically ahead of the Honey Badger. That's going to be the plan of action here. So nice quick stop, and it's not that great, but we are going to rejoin ahead luckily, so we're not going to lose any time. 2.8, not the best pit stop you'd ever see, but either way we're on fresh soft tyres now, so we can try and crack on here. So we're going to be overtaken by, I believe that's Bottas on mediums actually, so interesting tyre choice from him. But there's Massa also, so Massa's managed to undercut me, which is very frustrating, so we're going to have to overtake Felipe here to regain our previous position. Right, cars in the pit lane, we're going to see where we end up. We've got a few cars actually exiting who managed to pull off the overcut, including Lewis Hamilton, who's now on medium tyres. He's on my inside. I'm going to try and go around the outside of the Brit, and there we go. We've managed to hold on to our net position ahead of Lewis Hamilton, so he's now medium tyres. He is pretty quick though, and he's going to look for the move as he goes to the inside into turn 4. But I've just got too much speed on the braking, and he can't make the move into there. But we now got Pascal Wehrlein up front on worn super soft tyres here, so let's try and get a move on. Massa's pulling away, which isn't ideal when I'm struggling for pace compared to qualifying, so I need to try and find a bit of rhythm, and I need to find it quickly. Right, out the final corner here in the slipstream of Pascal Wehrlein, who's staying out for another lap, so we're going to open up the DRS here on the Sauber driver and try and make the move. We've got a few more cars in the pit lane, but here we go, getting a run on Wehrlein, pulling to the inside, and it's going to be a fairly simple move into turn 1 here, past the German, who I believe has run deep into turn 1, has allowed Hamilton through at pretty relative ease, so that's not going to help me one bit. Hamilton really pushing me here on their medium tyres already, and we've got Fernando Alonso up next. Right, DRS on Alonso on the back straight. Normally I wouldn't commentate this because I know I'm not going to overtake anybody, but with a McLaren Honda it's a different story, as we got the inside of Alonso. To be fair, he's holding it around the outside, but I'm just going to squat on the throttle and make it pretty much a no contest for the McLaren driver. But now up into P8, still behind Massa, who's just up the road there. I want to try and keep him in my sights because I think I can catch him. I just got to try and find the sweet spot with the car performance around here. Meanwhile, both of the Ferraris doing bits up front so far. Right, I'm starting to find a little bit of pace now. My rhythm's improving slightly, doing a pretty much personal best back-to-back, matching my best lap time. But here comes Lewis, DRS wide open on their medium tyres. And to be honest with you, I'm not really wanting to defend too much against him because he's got a lot of pace. But at the same time, it's with relative ease that I managed to keep him behind me through the first part of the lap. So we'll continue on here. Lewis is going to try and go for another move into turn 4. The question is, will he have enough on the brakes? Because I'm pretty good on the brakes into here. He's going to stick his nose up my inside, but he's got none on me, and I'm going to hold on to P6. But this is just making me drop back from Massa, which is not what I want. Right, okay, interestingly enough, Massa and Van Dorn come in, so that's very, very early pit stops for the pair of them. I think Massa must have not been for position then. He must have started on those soft compound tyres. Either way, here comes Hamilton up the inside once again here into turn 1. I'm going to go around the outside of the Brit and do the exact same manoeuvre as last time. The question is, can we hold it in front? No, we can't. Lewis this time keeping his nose in there, and we're going to go side by side into turn 4. Meanwhile, we've got a Red Bull of Ricciardo trying to make it 4 wide into turn 4. Can we go around the outside of the pair of them here? Very little grip out here, but we've made it work, and those two are going to be battling, and Ricciardo has actually made the move on Lewis Hamilton, so that's allowed me to get away from these two momentarily. But Ricciardo being very sneaky and very sort of ninja-ish and making the move on the Honey Badger. So we're now up into P5. Ricciardo's up into P6. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo now. He's got DRS. I'm going to try and defend here because we're battling with Red Bull, I feel, in the championship this season. They're going to be our rivals, and I want to try and come out on top. So Ricciardo goes up the inside just like Hamilton has done, but we comfortably hold it on the brakes around the outside at turn 1, and that's going to be the story of our defending so far. Ricciardo's going to get a little bit of a slipstream here and have a run into turn 4, but he's not really close enough to go for the dive, and even still, I'm good onto the brakes into here. So far, it does look like all the critical brake zones, I'm good in them. So that is just crucial when it comes to defending against guys behind. And I probably could have defended a little bit harder against Lewis, but to be honest with you, I'm not racing with him. And even if I stayed ahead, we would be on reverse tyres for the final stint, and then Hamilton would be really quick. So no point in us really wasting time and battling with him anymore. But so far, these tyres doing a good job. We've been on these for about 10 laps now, and I might even come in this lap for mediums, to be honest, because 13 laps should be pretty simple on those tyres. And I don't really want to lose the pace. So far the pace has been good, and I don't really want to have to suffer through severe drop-off. So I may come in at the end of this lap for fresh tyres. Right, so I'm going to come in now for my final stop of the race, second and final. The question is, will Ricciardo follow me in here? I'm going to try and push this pit entry a bit, be nice and aggressive with it, get it all slowed down. There we go, very good entry. Ricciardo does follow me in, so this is going to be a pit stop battle between ourselves and also Red Bull Racing. So let's have a nice good stop here and try and be off the jack. There we go, very good 2-second pit stop there. Look at how much we've gained on Ricciardo there. Fantastic job from the boys. Compared to the first stop, that is a very good pit stop there, and that's going to help us out massively now. I hope to join out in some clean air if possible. That would be really helpful for us, and I think that is exactly what we're going to get. So nice bit of clean air so we can push on these tyres and try and keep Ricciardo behind us. So we're pretty much in a land of our own at the moment, so we've got to try and switch this tyre on, take it to the end, and also set some good lap times in the process. But we've got a cushion over Ricciardo, so we just got to try and keep it that way. Right, personal best 32.0. I can confirm Ocon, I believe, is in a podium position at the moment. So if it does stay like this is going to be a brilliant double points haul for us today, because Verstappen, I've got no clue where he is, and Ricciardo's behind. So we could potentially have 2 full Indies ahead of both Red Bulls, and that would be a fantastic result for us around this circuit here. There really isn't much in it, literally like 1 or 2 tenths, but Ricciardo is edging closer and closer, and I believe he is now within my DRS. He's taken 3 tenths out of me in that last lap, but right now we are up in the P6, and I'm now determined to try and hold on to this, and I don't want Ricciardo to pass me, as I want both Pink Panthers to be ahead of the Red Bulls this race. Well, Ricciardo's pretty close this time. He's starting to turn on the pressure here and really pushing me. My lap times are still good, pretty much a couple of tenths within my personal best, but here comes Ricciardo, just a constant distraction of him being there. He's going to go for the move. I'm going to just sort of cover the inside line for turn 1. We're a little bit deep on the brakes, but Ricciardo on my outside. Now he's going to have the outside line through here. We're going to go side by side out of turn 3 into turn 4. And Ricciardo, I'm going to squeeze as much as I can. Can we go around the outside of him? Do we have enough tyres left? Yes, we do. Look at that. Fantastic stuff. Nice bit of grip on the outside line. We go right around the outside of the Australian, and we hold on to P6 for now. I wouldn't be disappointed if we drop that P7, because that is our target. However, like I said, I really want to keep both Red Bulls behind me today. The issue is if we battle, we're going to be basically inviting the Haas and the Williams of Massa and I believe Grosjean into this battle. So I really don't want that to happen, but I think we've got no other choice. I want to hold on to this position, so therefore we're going to have to prepare for battle here in the closing stages of this Grand Prix. Right, on to lap 24. 5 laps to go. Here comes Ricciardo to the inside once again. He's got a really good run on me here, but we're going to try and go for the same move again to turn 1 around the outside. Use the tyres and then take the inside through turn 2. Try and squeeze Ricciardo out. He's having none of it though. He's still there, and we're side by side into turn 4 once again. This time though, I've got a little bit more engine power, as you can see here. We've had a much better run, and we're just going to go around the outside. A little screen freeze there, but we are going to go around the outside of Ricciardo with no major qualms, and we're holding on to 6th place. Haas, Car and Williams, I believe, are catching up to us, so we're going to have to keep an eye out for those guys, because they are quick in a straight line. So we've got to be ready for those guys, and luckily we've dropped out the negative now, so we can now use Rich if we need to. But like I said, the strategy of this race was to not have any extra fuel on board, because I don't want to use Richmond, because my engine is starting to wear out. As you can see here, we've got a couple of yellow components in the form of the ICE and a few others on the brink of yellow, so we've got to be careful with the engine, and the necklace is going to be a lot of nursing involved. But for now, we're keeping these guys behind us, and it's working so far in terms of our overall plan. I'm disappointed Ocon is so far ahead, but this is a track where the AI traditionally have had some incredible pace in the past, and one where I've just not been able to compete at. Hence the 2 non-points finishes in the seasons 1 and 2. So far this is a very good result compared to the last 2 seasons. Almost a personal best there, really pushing hard at the moment to try and stay ahead. Here comes Ricciardo once again to the inside line. We're going to have to go defensive, and once again go around the outside of turn 1. Same move as always, and lovely defensive driving there. The car just seems to have picked up a little bit of pace all of a sudden. I don't know if it's because the car's getting lighter. I don't really know, but I just feel like I've found a couple of extra tenths at the moment, and that's allowing me to stay ahead of Ricciardo, and also, as you saw, almost do a personal best that last time round. So the car is coming alive a little bit here in these last couple of laps. Once again, here comes Daniel Ricciardo, lap 27. This time, though, he doesn't really commit to the move. He's going to the outside, but there's no way he's putting the move on me through there. So we're going to hold on for yet another lap, it seems, on to P6. And that is good defensive driving. Stroll has now joined in the battle. So it's Stroll, not Massa. So I was mistaken this entire time. I thought Massa would have caught up by now. But instead, it's the young Canadian who's putting in a performance here today. So we've got to contend with these guys now, as Grosjean also just right at the back of that train. So we've got a very tough 2.5 laps ahead of us here. onto the final lap of the race. Personal best lap of the Grand Prix. So it just goes to show we're doing pretty good here, defending very nicely. We're not going to even need Rich Mix to defend from Ricardo this time because I had such a good exit at the final corner that I'm not going to need it. And onto the last lap now, we just got to try and defend this. Little straight to turn 4, and then I think we're pretty much home and dry for this race. Here comes Ricardo, who's looking very racy, but not enough, and we're going to defend it into turn 4. And I think this is going to be our finishing position now unless something absolutely catastrophic happens. Right onto the back straight for the final time. It looks like we are pretty much home and dry now. We've made it. The pace has been pretty good all race long, and for the last 2 seasons I haven't scored any points here. Yet this season we didn't just qualify into Q3, we've also gone and bloody got ourselves the P6, and that is a very good result for a track where the AI have been very OP in the past. So I'm very happy with that, and that is a very good result for me, and I'm very, very chuffed that I've got that amount of points around a track that I was not expecting that much of a performance, to be honest, because Bahrain we've always struggled at. Now what I really want to know is, has Esteban Ocon managed to bag a podium? Because if he has, I'll be very, very impressed and very happy, because that just goes to show the performance of the car and around a circuit that pretty much would suit our car in most aspects. It goes to show that we can perform, and with 1 or 2 more upgrades we might make it. And looking at that, I think Hamilton might have nicked the podium from from Ocon, but even still, maybe finish P4, because I know Bottas was ahead of me, so I'm going to guess Ocon finished in 4th place, which even still, that is absolutely fantastic for us as a team. A 4th and a 6th place, double points finish, beating both of the Red Bulls is remarkable. And as you can see, it's another 1-2 for Ferrari. These guys do not stop winning. You have to wonder, who's going to stop them, because they are absolutely untouchable in Formula 1. And Lewis Hamilton, as you can see them on the right hand side, rounding up the podium, and those are the top 3 drivers of the day. But we're now going to move into the race results, drivers and constructor standings. Right, so looking at the final race results, Ocon brings it home in P4 in the end, so really good result from him, with a Ferrari 1-2, Raikkonen winning the race, once again reversing the order of the qualifying, and Vettel just can't seem to do the job on a Sunday. Raikkonen is just a superior driver in this career mode, and yeah, Hamilton rides at the podium. Like I said, Ocon in P4, fantastic result for him, converting his original starting position. Bottas in P5 after doing a 3-stop strategy, and then myself in P6, so very good result from P9 on the grid. And then Ricciardo, Stroll, Grosjean and Massa ran out the top 10. Then Kvyat and Magnussen in the lower end of the top half of the table, and then Hulkenberg being the only DNF of the Grand Prix, and Max Verstappen down in P15 on a 2-stop strategy, oddly enough, and no weird lap times there, so something weird must have happened to him in this race. However, for the driver's standings though, this gets very interesting. I'm in P3, I overtake Max Verstappen. Hamilton now only 1 point behind me, and Ocon is all the way up to P6. Meanwhile, it's a Ferrari 1-2 up front, and they're absolutely racing away with it, but Ricciardo is down in P7 and Bottas only in P8, so we're making a good start to the season here. As we transition to the constructors, we've overtaken Red Bull and jumped into 2nd place with Mercedes in 3rd. So we're going to drink this in for now, but we're momentarily in 2nd place as a constructor in Formula 1, and that just goes to show the progress we've made as a team in this career. But we're now going to move into the laptop. So looking at the laptop, as you can see in the bottom right, we've lost a little bit in our driver expectation. However, as you can see in the middle of the screen, we are losing our rivalry to Massa by 2 points. So to bring that back up to scratch, we have to outperform in every department next weekend, and we have to start that off by basically qualifying him on Saturday in the next race in Sochi, which I think we can do. And then obviously we've got to try and get the run on him and try and beat him in the race, because we did beat him today and that was very successful. However, we did get out qualified by him, so we need to basically out-qualify the Williams there. But if we move across here, you can see in the bottom right that the developments have no developments for this race for, I believe, nobody. And we're going to just quickly confirm that on the progress history. No developments yet. However, going into Russia, I might expect a few people to bring upgrades. However, we're going to bring ours for Spain, which will, like I said in the last episode, we'll jump into the chassis side of things and try and get at least 2 of these 3, which are the next ones coming up. I'm definitely getting this one here, which is for the tyre wear, to try and improve our tyre situation. That way we can open up our strategy options a lot more. And then we're probably going to go for either the weight reduction here for the wiring loom, or the rear floor under tray for weight distribution. So one of these 2 will be conjoined with this upgrade here to bring a nice double upgrade for the Spanish Grand Prix, which should be very interesting. But until then, we have to wait and see what happens. Also, durability wise, I'll just quickly show you guys, I am looking to bring an RCE upgrade soon because we are struggling on the RCE front. And yeah, we want to try and basically get an RCE upgrade and also an MG UK, which is this one here. So if we can get those two as well, we can basically run it in higher revs and also let the car rev up higher naturally without having to worry about engine wear. So those will be some upgrades we have to work on in the future. But for now, I want to focus on the performance. And for that, we need to bring these chassis upgrades. But other than that, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. Hopefully, you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do smash the like button. Also, if you're new around here, subscribe to my channel for future F1 content. Also, check out these videos on screen right now if you haven't done so already. And also, check out GT Omega in the links down below in the description for a cheeky 5% discount. Use the code TOM97, and that should see you with 5% off at checkout. But other than that, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.